Skip introductions, clink the lick above. Kai, how are you doing since yesterday? Yeah, that's speed.
Doing pretty well, and
right
for
there.
everyone who doesn't know it, my birthday was just yesterday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Belated happy birthday, Kai.
Thank you.
He didn't even get to shoot anyone yesterday. Very sad.
We actually just got to look at a bunch of nukes and do nothing with them. Nothing.
That's not my fault. It's what you guys decided to do. You're like, hey, I want to do some science stuff. And I was like, okay. And you're like, all right, I'm sciencing.
Yeah, nothing much happened. We
Yeah.
looked at the nukes, decided they were safe, and then left.
Science. All right. Anosh, how are you doing this week?
Oh man, I've been like getting killed at work. I had the worst hangover yesterday in the office. Oh, it's horrible. But on the plus side, I got a new toy. I got this awesome new mic. It's the Yeti Blue, and it's the blacked out version, so it's pretty sweet. Just got it set up, so hopefully people can hear me better.
Your sound clarity is clear terrific, by the way. Do you have a cover for it?
Indianness of my accent.
Yeah, do you have a cover for it or a shield?
Nope.
Okay.
Nothing.
You definitely want to get one of those because P's can be plosive.
Ah, okay. Good to know that. We'll get one.
Yeah. Anosh, I have something to say to you, and I'm hoping this isn't deeply offensive. But after watching Sense8 and their amazing depictions of Indian dances set to modern music, I was like, huh, that's actually pretty cool. I wonder if there's more of that. And then I was like, hey, there's this Mage Laser DJ Snake song that's actually pretty cool too. Man, these are some pretty cool dances. And of course, there's the Felicia Day song. What was it called? From the Guild. Game On. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I've been listening to some of
I
that
watch
shit.
that show. I think it's one of them is set in my home city. One of the characters is set in Mumbai as well, right? Isn't it? If I'm not mistaken.
From the Guild?
Not from the Guild. I'm not Felicia Day's thing. I'm talking about in Sense. What?
Oh,
show,
Sensei. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Yeah, I haven't seen the show yet, but I
haven't seen it in like a
once,
month and a
I
half.
saw
I don't remember anybody's name. There's
Yeah.
white cop guy, South African taxi driver who drives the Jean-Claude Van Damme bus. Yeah. That's how I remember people. Basically their job.
I'm just gonna go with that. There's obviously some Indian person chick that.
Yeah,
in a if
yeah.
I'm not mistaken. Yeah. That's as much as I know as well.
The last thing I was on episode 8, and like the very beginning of it is just like her, like, I'm a free spirit. I'm talking to my fiance's dad, and then it's like, oh my god! People are shooting things everywhere! What? Where did all these knives come from? And I was like, whoa! This scene ended way different than I thought it would. Yeah, there was a serious twist. All right, we got to move on.
Yeah.
Although I just want to say this Major Lazer DJ Snake song is pretty good. Check it out, guys. Yeah. Pop culture. Kroama, how are you doing this week? Kingmaker?
Not much has changed. We won't be doing Kingmaker for this week or next week since people are busy individually.
Damn.
Both days. Working interviews soon though, so that's nice.
All right. Anything else?
Nope, not much to know.
Erik, I know you're away from home.
Yeah, so I am across the country now, over in Baltimore temporarily for sort
You
of
a cop?
in
no,
the
that's
lead up
Boston,
to
sorry.
the biggest test of my life. So yay, fun times. And then there's a fun aspect I've discovered is I am simultaneously having to study for the next 2 days like crazy while Otakon is going on like 2 blocks away from me. So it's like, why must everything I love be immediately available and I can't do any of it?
Excellent, excellent. I assume this major test you're speaking of is in fact the bar exam.
Yes.
Excellent.
Happens Tuesday.
All right, so here's what you need to do. You need to go on the street outside. You need to find a kid smoking weed who has perfect recall and get him to take the test for you.
What?
That's the plot line to the pilot of Suits. the USA series. Speaking of which, tonight's show is sponsored by TNT, not USA. Yeah, you thought I was going to say USA, didn't you? I like The Last Ship. Even though it has Adam Baldwin, and he is a terrible person, he's also a fantastic actor.
Wait, are we actually sponsored?
No, we're never
Okay.
sponsored. I have a few things to note. By the way, ladies, if you've watched every episode of the show this week, you know I gave a shout out to the ladies on Tuesday. Their viewership numbers were up 5%. They're now up an additional 3% over that for a total of 8% during the week. Good job, ladies. I love you. Ben, your numbers are down 8%. I know mathematically that makes 100% amount of sense, but you got to get your numbers back up, guys. I'm just saying. Also, Guam has slipped. It used to be number 2 in my viewership, but now Finland has overtaken it. Finland, I don't know much about you because I didn't check the numbers until 30 seconds before the show started, but I'm betting you're awesome, Finland. However, you can't beat Guam, and here's why. Guam has the most people that sit down and watch the entire video all the way through without stopping. That's right, Guam. Guys, you watch the whole video all the way through without stopping. You're number 1 at doing that. On average, on a 30-minute video, someone from Guam will watch for 24 minutes. That's big numbers, guys. Big numbers. All right. So there's my my story time. Let's see here. I think introductions are over. Oh, hey, we got record time here. Bam. Thank you for clicking on the link. Introductions are over. Can someone recap what happened last time? Although, as always, I hesitate to ask a player to do this. Sometimes the answers are amusing, though. Does anyone remember?
I just remember a lot of people were pissed off by Sir Marcus and somebody else.
Yep.
No
Sir
idea
Abel.
why. No idea
Who
why.
it was.
They showed their social grace very, very well.
Yeah, that's
Well,
solid.
someone specifically came up and insulted Adwog emphatically. And so there are lots of interesting bits there.
That's right. That's right. Sir Wolfram called you a Saxon. Sir Wolfram.
And then you offended all the Saxons trying to defend yourself.
And then you offended all the pagans. Well, that was Sir Marcus.
That was
And,
that's
and Sir
Marcus.
Marcus offended all the Saxons as well,
Sir
including
Marcus
the Saxon
offended
leader.
everyone in present,
We also got the
Marcus the
chance
racist
to.
Indian.
including our own knights.
Speaking of, Sir Sasha, in a come-from-behind take of responsibility, has basically agreed to protect all of the pagan knights.
I can't just let him die because these people are crazy.
Excellent. I love that things
Never
are
let
coming
them
to a
die.
head.
They have the chance to convert.
Wow, you realize how fucking ominously creepy that is? I love, like, the idea of the three of you, Adewald, Marcus, and Corin, like, sitting around a table at, like, 3 o'clock in the morning, drinking wine, and then Marcus is just, like, muttering into his cup, "Oh, we'll give them a chance to convert." And he's bleary-eyed, and everyone just passes it off like, "Oh, he's just crazy talking because he's drunk." Next morning, he's got people chained to crosses and shit. Convert!
Well, he is crazy talking. Because he is quite crazy.
All right, does anyone remember what happened after Marcus insulted a shit ton of people?
I think they challenged us to a race, the king of something.
Yes.
I can't remember it. But
Yep.
it was in the... I was unable to actually move at all.
Oh, that was a while ago, right? That was when you
Was
guys
that too?
Yeah, that was all the way back with Sir Orcus and the...
No. This was...
Last
So
week
to
we had
you.
a chance to speak to the king that took over the south.
Yes.
Who was
Yes.
to try to get an alliance there. He was really full of himself, but not like unfriendly, I guess.
He wanted to marry, let's see, lady. Lady Young.
Potentially.
Well, he wanted to.
I don't support the marriage.
Yeah. He's not a Christian, so yeah, I don't support it either.
That's not why.
It's why it should be.
All right, his name was King Cerdic.
Fitting
And he claims to be of the rightful bloodline to rule Britain through his grandfather, Vortigern.
Vortigern.
And, most importantly, he has many British knights who follow him, even though he is a Saxon. So let's see here. We were at the end of the year. There was some question as to whether you guys were going to defend your lands, but I think we worked it off screen that you were just, you know... What happened is the Saxons hit the north end of the county. By the time news reached Bagon Castle, they were already, like, rolling over half the countryside. There was no organized resistance. And that'll certainly be something we talk about in the spring of 497. However, we need to do end of year of 496. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, a number of you were seeking companionship with the ladies. So let's start with solo scenarios. Who would like to attempt to woo the ladies first? Don't all speak at once, boys.
No, I would stop. I think I just finally found my notes. I'm going to quickly read up on that if someone wants to start.
What
Otherwise,
the
they'll go on
hell?
Google Docs.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
It's Lady Elwa.
Okay. Yes. So, you know, she's just hanging out at her manor by Amesbury, and she's like, ah,
Which I've
yes.
mysteriously actually managed to find.
Yes, it's right on the edge of a forest, actually. Yeah, it's right on the edge of the Chute Forest. And she's just like, oh, Sir Erik, was it?
Aidwell.
Yes, Eidwald. Yes, we did have a arrangement for today. Is there something you'd like to do while passing through my manor?
I think we agreed to roll this.
Yeah, you can. Is there an activity you wanted to share time with her, though? I'm giving you a chance for another skill roll, man.
I was just going to do courtesy.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, you show up and you're just like, let's have a drink of lemonade on the front porch. Yes, you rolled a 14. Your skill is a 15, so you were successful. You haven't wooed her by any means. But she doesn't think that you're a horrible bore like Sir Lycus, for instance. You know, good old dead Sir Lycus.
Good old dead.
Yeah, well, they didn't call him the courtly knight. They called him the assassin knight for his brutal, thuggish killing. Yeah, it goes okay. You know, as far as someone who has no idea who you are and doesn't really want to spend time to you, but is being forced to by her noble overlord, can. Yeah. All right. Cool.
Wow, that's a vote of confidence.
Yeah, lovely. I'm glad to see that romantic success runs in the family.
Yeah. You are, as they have mentioned, a player. Player character. Sir Marcus, Sir Corin, anything you guys want to add here? Any game you want to play and lay down?
Yes, I believe I was with the Lady Letta.
Yes, of course.
Yes, I'd like to see her then.
Okay, yeah, you show up to see the Lady Letta, and you have to travel for some time, since his manor is some distance away. There are two knights outside who stop you, and one of them has like a red feather red plume coming from his helmet, and he's wearing like very crappy like 30-year-old chainmail. You know, not reinforced chainmail either, like the old stuff. And the other one is dressed exactly the same way, but with a blue feather coming from his helmet. And the one with the red feather is like, Sir Corin,
Yep.
is there any chance I could get you to turn around? The Lady Letta is a rather unique and frail creature. After the repeated abuses of her cruel father, Sir Selsbon, the Cruel.
Thought he got that name from being the nicest man around.
So the red
No.
helmet and the blue helmet both turn to look at each other,
But
and then like creak back towards you.
no, I don't actually say that. But no, I'd say no. I don't believe you can. I'd like to see the Lady Letta.
So red helmet turns sideways to look at the blue helmet, and the blue helmet says, "If you hurt her, you will be found dead one morning. And I feel
Thank you.
confident saying this because you are at the edge of our property. But please, step inside and accept the hospitality of our noble lord. Lady, noble lady."
I will, thank you.
And as you step over onto their property, they escort you back. The Lady Letta is just like in the kitchen making like gruel, and the servants are all super exasperated. You get the idea that she does this a lot, and that they're always like, "No, you can't even make gruel, foolish girl." And, you know, they're talking to her in a way no noble lady should have servants speaking to her, but they seem really concerned about her in the process. They're basically ordering her around, trying to shoo her away from the cook pot. But, yeah, that's what you walk in on. Lady Letta looks up and says, "Oh, it's you, Sir..."
Sir Corin, milady.
"Ah, Sir Corin, yes, yes. Do you know anything about cooking gruel?
I couldn't say I really do.
Millet, perhaps? Making rice? Bread?"
No, I have never found much use for cooking.
So, one of the women next to the Lady Letta, a rather largest matronly woman, is like, "Lady Letta, I can't believe you'd ask a man if he was cooking things. That's ridiculous. He's a knight and a noble lord."
I'm probably going to try and shush her and say, it's quite alright for her to ask me such questions.
She's like, "Oh, my apologies, my lord. I did not mean to offend you. Please do not beat me."
No problem. It's no problem.
Huh?
No worries. You have no need to fear me.
Yeah, so she's still cringing and she
Some
stays
dead women
down.
have said
Yeah,
that.
you say that, but all of the servants are looking at each other like, "Yeah, this guy's definitely gonna beat her."
My God. Deep and rooted fears.
So the Lady Letta is like, "I'm sorry, Sir Corin. I don't remember what you were supposed to be visiting here today for."
Oh, I simply wanted to see you and the lovely visage of your face.
So, remember that this is a plain, dull girl. And when you say that, she just looks up and says, "Lovely visage. No one has said that about me before. How nice." She goes back to stirring the gruel.
Would you perhaps like to take a walk around?
She's like,
in
"Oh,
there?
okay. Alright." And like, as she's leaving, she almost tips the gruel pot over because she doesn't let go of the stirring stick and just walks away with it, and the pot's like, whoop.
Oh, I think I'm just going to try and make a courtesy roll from here on
Yeah.
for the rest of this.
Yep. No, sorry.
Yeah, no.
That's a fail. Yeah, you tell me what you're saying just in general terms to her, but it's obvious she doesn't really understand what you're trying to get at.
I think I'm going to try and compliment her and just try and show her around. Just be nice in general.
Yeah, she spends the whole time, anytime you compliment her, she's just like, "Oh, I've never heard that before. Everyone says the exact opposite."
Wow. She's just very incredibly depressed.
Perhaps. Sir Marcus, I think we zoom the camera over to your estate now.
Yep.
Like, right before we do, there's an old man walking along the road with, like, a stick, and it's got, like, a bag of coins at the end of it, so whenever he puts it down, it jingles. And he, like, sees you walking past on the road, and he's like, "Third time is a charm, my lord. Third time's a charm. Perhaps you would like to buy some trinkets. You seem like you are in need of a good bit of luck.
Trinkets?
Yes, of course, my
no
lord.
need for any of this pagan nonsense.
Pagan nonsense. Well, all right, there's half my wares. What about some Christian trinkets, perhaps?
Perhaps. A quick question. Was it Lady Iona, Lady Catherine that was into falconry? I forget. One of them I remember.
Lady Iona.
Lady Iona, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So he looks. Yeah. So he look over the wares actually.
Yeah. So
What is?
he's got
What is it that?
he like any good drug dealer. He's got the coat with like stuff hanging off it. And so he's like, nope, that's the pagan wares. And he opens the left side and he goes through it. And he's like, perhaps you would like a silver charm, my lord. Perhaps a cross of some kind. Or maybe this shiny bauble right here. They say that if you look into the far side of the cubic zirconia, you can see the face of the Virgin Mary.
So yeah, definitely Marcus is interested in that. So he's like, how much for this trinket?
Ah, but 2 denaries, my lord. 2 denaries.
So he says, very well then, I will have it. Here are your coin, man.
All right, you give him 2 silver coins, and he, hands over this bauble that, it looks like a diamond, but it's really like cheap gemstone. But yeah, when you look into it, you can see a figure that looks kind of like a woman's face. He's like, yes, I got that from the ruins of the holy city itself. I found a traveling merchant from the Sassanid Empire. They called himself Gomjabar or something. Said it was from the Holy Land, and I believed him. Yes, very wise man. Spoke of the wisdom of Solomon. Anyway, my lord, there you go. I thank you for your coin, and I say again to you, 3rd time is a charm. And he starts shuffling off again down the road, cackling.
Yeah. Okay. So so he's gonna actually show up. He'll take his hawk, and he'll go riding over to Lady Iona's manor.
A hawk, eh? Let me check my falconry guide.
I forget which one. I think it's a goshawk is the one he's supposed to have.
Are you a banneret now?
I think.
Yeah, you have a goshawk. It doesn't
yeah,
matter. You have a
I
goshawk
I
until you
am.
become an earl or a count.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm banneret. Yeah.
So when you come up to the manor, Lady Iona is dressed all in black, which really offsets her silver hair. And she's like mourning outside with an umbrella type object, like a parasol, over top of a grave. And you can see it says like something the Goshawk. And she just turns and says, "Oh, Sir Marcus, I am afraid that death follows me everywhere I go. Not only was Aurelius killed in the last year, but so too my most precious of birds finally died. I must apologize. I was not able to send word to you to cancel our day together."
Oh, that is most tragic. Death followed my brother as well. By the way, 3rd time was Robert, not Marcus. Robert's the one who had 2 wives die.
It was just a crazy old man on the road just saying things. There wasn't any inherent prophecy in it.
All right. So he says, "Oh."
I was like, "What are you
most
talking
tragic.
about?"
Nah, that's most tragic. Sorry, Marcus is like, "Oh, that's most tragic." Perhaps we should go riding if you would like. I brought you something.
She's
pull
like,
out the.
"Yes, of course we could go riding. Please, just wait here. I'll change rather quickly. It should only be an hour or so."
Wow. He says, "Perhaps something to alleviate. A nice ride would help you clear your mind." And he gives her the bauble. I recently purchased this from a from a man who swears that it's from the Holy Land, and if you stare into it, you can almost see the visage of the Virgin Mary.
She just looks into it and she's like, there is something here, yes. I do see something.
I hope that shall bring you some comfort. Yeah.
Yeah, so she goes inside and changes into her riding clothes and then has a horse prepared. And then after about 45 minutes, she's ready to go.
Okay. So yeah, I'm just going to say they go for a ride. And,
Okay, can you
I'll
make a
courtesy roll
ride
for that.
check? Like a horsemanship?
Ride check?
Yeah,
Oh, sure.
horsemanship. Let's do it.
Skills, horsemanship. Okay.
And then, of course, make a courtship roll. Courtly.
All right.
Yeah, give yourself a check to horse. And courtesy.
Right.
Speaking of which, Aidwald, you can give